Hi.
Hi, everybody. We are live again. It is 4:30, week 2 here in Georgia of quarantine. So the end of week 2 of quarantine. So we are back. This is a series that we are doing on surviving quarantine by spreading life, and our goal is to continue to spread life in this time period that can be some of the unknown, it feels like. So, and again, I catch myself every time I say unknown because there are some things that we do know. We do know that we can control our attitude, and there's some certainties in this space that we really want to encourage y'all to grab onto. So, in this discussion, it's me and Coach Bonnie again. Coach Bonnie, if you just want to quickly tell about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Bonnie. I am currently in Rhode Island, also in quarantine with my family for the same reasons. I am a trained mental health clinician, also a health coach, really trying to focus on bringing the mind and body together and helping others to do the same, and getting to a place where you're comfortable with yourself, really. I have 2 little boys that are home with me, 2 years old and 7 months, and we're all home all day. So
All day,
I'm
every day.
talk about family dynamics and how it's playing out, and hopefully be able to give some tips and insight for others in a similar situation.
Awesome. And I have, I'll just show this up real quick. Nathan is on as well. And he says hello in me. So thank you, Nathan, for joining us. And actually, I want to pitch in a few. Nathan, if you could type out talking about family dynamics, you are doing some cool things with your grandson, Liam. So if you could type that out also, because I think that's a good discussion to bring in too, is what are people doing in this space with their family? So we want to hear back from you. What are y'all doing? Because we love to learn just as much as we like to help other people.
Definitely.
Can we tell it's week 2? The brain's a little fried, but it's okay. So let's get started. Coach Bonnie, let's get into it. Family dynamics. We are at the end of week 2. Can we breathe? And I think that's something that you talked about before we hopped on is prioritizing yourself in this space, and how it can help actually with the family dynamics. So can you expound on that and just tell us more?
Sure. So not only prioritizing yourself, but also just prioritizing everything that's happening in your life right now, because we just can't do it all. And I know for myself, I was under the impression that I'd be able to handle this maybe a little easier than I am, because the family dynamics are so different. Like, you can't imagine what it's going to be like to be in the house all day, every day with, for me, my spouse, my children, and my mother-in-law. We all are here.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to be with them, but when you don't get a break from your kids and you don't get a break from your husband, it can be tough. And you're all kind of in it together, and not wanting to put more responsibility on the other person is kind of where we are. So with the family dynamics, that's where prioritizing myself has really come into play, and asking for the time when I need it to say, I can't be responsible for everything right now. Like, can you take the kids, or can you take the dishes, or can you take the dog for a walk, whatever the priorities are for the day. And even having the conversation with the other adults in the home to say how you're feeling, what's been going on, just keeping that line of communication open, for us has been really, really helpful.
I agree. And I'll tell you, that's something that I had the discussion with my husband yesterday, because I'm in the house with kids all day, and I get to have live streams or get to be in meetings and Zoom calls with people, but I don't get to not talk about work and just get to talk with adults. And so he is still going to work. And so he does outside work. He's a lineman. And so for him, he gets to be with people all day. He's having to deal with things. And of course, it's just a small crew, but still, he gets human interaction, is what I say, or big people human interaction. I don't as much. So I feel that need more than ever, just to have somebody to talk to and just be like, ask me about my day. Just let me tell you. I say, it's not bad, but I just need somebody that I can have that. And I think that's one thing too, is introverts, and I still feel like some introverts are having issues with this. Everybody's like, this is introverts' happiness. This is their world. They love this. But I have to disagree with that because still humans need connection. It doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert. But
100%.
if you're a people person, so I know that you are you're a pretty big people person, like on connection with people. How are you dealing with that?
Finding it where I can. So thank you for bringing that up. I think that's really important. So I do enjoy being around others and having the human contact and interaction. I would consider myself slightly introverted in the same way, and I enjoy being home. I don't mind having time to myself and with my close family, but it's so different when you're being told that this is what you have to do. So I think for either end, I mean, maybe for a couple of days it was nice for those that really enjoy being home, but now it's starting to really wear and tear on everybody. So um, how I've been maintaining my connection is one, doing these live streams and listening to them, which I really enjoy doing. I'm lucky enough to be able to work from home and even just reaching out in the slightest ways to people that I normally would be interacting with face to face. I'm doing that. Most helpful has been the group texts that I'm part of.
Awesome.
So maybe not enough for everybody, but for me, it feels like I'm still connected to like my tribe, my people. I'm still knowing what's going on every day for them. And I have two, one with a group of friends who are also moms and dealing with similar issues, but also my sisters and my family.
I agree. That's similar to us. So I found out I'm not huge on using social media to like talk with each other per se, but I found that Snapchat has a way for all four of us. There's four girls in our group that we all talk. We also have a group thread too, but we can all or I guess FaceTime or whatever you call it for Snapchat. We can all do it at the same time at one, and it's like we are like little kids just that got tons of candy. We're like, yeah, like so excited just to get that dopamine rush that we get to talk to other people. So I think it's so true right now more than ever is whenever we need people if we can. And I want to pull up real quick, Nathan, what he said. He said we have me time, us time, group, family time. I really like that. Learning the importance of each and what they look like. That's imperative right now. Let's go into each one of those. So me time, that's focusing on us. It's self-care, a lot of the self-care, which and I will argue that actually all of this is self-care.
Agree.
Us time, making sure that you do have like me and the kids. I'm big on gratitude practices. So we have each night, we say 3 things that we're grateful for while we eat dinner, especially during this time. And then group family time with the flooding. I think I told you this earlier with the flooding that we have in Georgia. I call it my redneck pond. And my kids have been playing out in, it's a pond per se, but it's not. It's only a foot deep. They got in their bathing suits because it's 70 degrees here and they went out and played today. So, and I just sat and I got to watch them. And so it was really cool for me to actually get to do that. And today's probably been my favorite day of quarantine because I got to be outside and I got to see them play. I also got to do work, and it was a productive day for me. So on those 3 for you, what would you say, Lonnie?
So I was actually thinking of it a little differently, similar but different. So for me time, self-care, time for yourself. Whether or not you're a people person, I think we all need to like take a deep breath and not have to respond to another human being for at least a short period of time. And most importantly about that me time is do not feel guilty. I struggle with that because again, my kids are little. So when I'm having me time, that usually means my husband is with the children. But that's okay. And he gets his time too. I think us time is he and I, the adults.
Oh yeah.
Time that we're able to focus on each other and talk about our days and how we're feeling and how we're being impacted. And then group family time is just everyone that you consider your family that you live with. So again, it would be my kids, my mother-in-law, taking a walk outside, being outside,
Mhm.
watching a movie if that's what it looks like for the day, if we've really just had enough.
Yes.
The group family time is going to look different every day.
Mhm. I agree. And another one that he did, he is a safety professional. And so Liam and he has been making safety videos. So that's really creative to be able to bring your kids into the work and and that's some things that I've been doing with mine because I can with a lot of like how to eat or like creating different foods or doing recipes. So if there's any way that you can have your kids kind of like educate them on what are you doing, if you I hope that whatever profession you are in that you have a passion for it. And so if you have a passion for it, let your kids see that. Because this is the most imperative time because I was blessed to have a father that showed me his passion. And so I believe I'm an entrepreneur now because I got to see what he done. And so show kids now more than ever, especially if they are of age to understand that you can live out your passion, you can live out your purpose, and that a job is more than just a job. It can be actually a calling. So good for you, Nathan. I am proud of you.
I like that.
So, another thing I want to talk about with you is okay, we talk about goals, and within our goals, we always know week 1 and week 2, they do pretty well. We call week 3 hell week, typically because it is a week that everybody drops off, or a large percentage of people drop off on week 3. Well, this is life, so we can't drop off. So, how can we prep people for week 3?
Good question. Very in very similar way as you would prep for any other goal, I think, is being aware that it's going maybe a little more challenging than your previous weeks. Um, to not get discouraged by any setbacks that you may encounter, to not
Mhm.
look at it as a sign to give up. And this is typical, and we can still get through it. And have a plan, have a game plan. So depending on, it's tough not knowing what a specific goal is, but if I were to use an example, really generic health goal, maybe you're home, so your goal is to get in at least 4 at-home workouts a week. Um,
Mhm.
have a game plan for exactly how that's going to happen in week 3, to say what time it's going to happen, any other variables that might kind of get in the way, children, other people in the house. Just I cannot stress that enough. Just be aware of it and have a plan for it, and speak to other people about it so that you have the accountability to follow through.
Mhm. And I agree. And that's what Nathan also put up here is that I think knowing certain things will happen allows you to plan accordingly. And that is so
Definitely.
true right now is that what we do is whenever we actually have contracts in ours and we have tasks. So, as you know, Bonnie, on our things that we do, we have a difficulty and impact score. I think those are very important right now, along with deadlines. So, right now, if you put a difficulty like a 1 to 10 saying how difficult it's going to be, you have already perceived and you already know that it may be difficult. But if you see the impact next to it, so if it's a 10, that is going to make a difference. So getting those workouts in or getting your me time, scheduling it so that you can actually have that, the impact's going to be great, but you also know the difficulty might be high as well. So the importance of it and being able to see those two, because I think, like you said, also accountability right now is huge.
Mhm.
So, how in the next week do we help with? I think communication is going to be really big next week because I can see me and my husband right now. Our communication, it's like, oh, it's almost like a honeymoon phase before it's like, okay, we've had enough of each other. So, how do we help with communication during this period?
Communication with family members and significant others.
Hmm.
Take a deep breath before you say anything. It's like, I feel like in
Hmm.
close quarters, a lot of emotions are going to start to come up, and you don't want the emotions to run the conversation. You want to be able to
Hmm.
say it in a dynamic way that's going to allow the other person to respond to you and not get defensive immediately. Um,
Hmm.
So take a deep breath, think about it before you actually broach a subject with them. Don't respond in the moment. Um, pick your battles, I would say, is
Mm-hmm.
another really big one.
More
There's
than ever.
things that it's either not going to change, or there's things that are a lot more important to you that's going to help you stay sane and calm throughout this. So I'm going back to the word prioritize that we kind of started with. And I can't get that out of my mind during this whole situation, that I feel like we need to prioritize ourselves, but also think about what for you is important during this. Do you just want to, are you really responding with a lot of anxiety and you want to be able to stay calm for yourself and your family, for your work? Are you really wanting to see this as a time to be productive and get a
Mm-hmm.
lot done? Like, what is your priority? And then shape it around that. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I'm
That
trying to get.
does. No, and I think the thing that I hear from it the most is that with prioritizing, how I talk about that, people say that they don't have time. I say that it's not, it's more over your priorities. So right
Mhm.
now, we may not have as much in-person work, but we still have some work that's on the back end that's happening. And finding where we're going to spend our most time and energy at right now. And so that's where our priorities lie. And you can always see it. It's where your money, your resources, or your energy goes to. That's your top priorities. So in this current space, figure out where that is. And I really want to harp on it, and I've harped on it way too many times, but I still want y'all to know that we have the give back to you. And the reason why we do this is in this space, especially week 3, y'all. I just want you to know that week 3, with any goal, just we know that week 3 psychologically, like it is one of the hardest weeks. And even if you think of in January, most people drop off by the 15th of the month. This is something that you can't drop off on. So this is another reason why we are giving all of our services away for free. We waived all of our fees until the end of April, because we know that this is going to be a time where relationships are going to be tested. And if you need to borrow energy, borrow it from us. And we are gladly and freely giving that to people, so that we want y'all to be better from this. And we believe that everybody can be better from this. And it's resources. Like I said, it's Bonnie, your heart to be able to care and to give to people the way that you do. It's a blessing. And so we want more people to be able to take part of that. Um,
Absolutely.
and
Continue
so,
to talk things out. It's invaluable to someone who's not right in the middle of it with you. Just
mhm.
having that extra set of ears, I think, is really, really helpful.
And I want to say just to point on to what you just said there, to add to it. But I do think that that is something that especially if you don't have human interaction, let us be it, because physiologically we need human interaction. You need human connection. Loneliness will come from this if you do not. Depression will come from this if you do not. Anxiety will come from this if you do not. Reach out, even if it's not to us. Reach out to somebody, because it will happen. Our bodies are designed to be near humans and having contact with each other. So in this space, especially whenever oh, that's the other thing I want to talk about real quick is fight, flight, or freeze. Everybody has their own responses. And especially people that are flight people right now that can't, because they're quarantined into 4 walls, be careful with that. I'm a flyer. My husband's a fighter, not that he actually fights, but that's his approach. So in that space, I have to have my ability to back off. And just know that for other people that in this space, they have to have that. So what are your thoughts on that real quick, Bonnie?
That's a very good point. Yes, everyone's going to handle this differently, depending on how their automatic response is to stress. So if you're someone and you need to recognize that, and again, the awareness of it is key. Figure out how you're going to fit that into your day. Talk about it with the people that you're with so that you can all work together on it. But if you're someone who tends to flight and want to leave a situation and kind of, where's the self-care in that? Where can you get
Mhm.
that for yourself so that you can handle the things that you absolutely have to handle?
Awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all so much. And I appreciate you. Thank you for everybody that hopped on to watch. If y'all need anything, feel free to reach out to us. Again, this is the space that we are here for y'all. We're here to listen. We don't care if there's kids crying in the background, if there's spouses crying in the background, if there's animals in the background. I joke that my kids got ducks, and you can hear the ducks in the background half the time. So whatever you need, we are here to be able. And if you want to connect directly with Coach Bonnie, here's her link at www.worksby.com/Coach Bonnie. Oh, we got one more comment. I want to go. Thank you, Nathan. As always, blessed that you hopped on. And I know that Mike was on here too. So thank you so much for everybody that hopped on. Y'all have an awesome and blessed day, and stay well and stay safe.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.